welcome to our very first episode of R&D Direct, Just Girls. I'm Julia. I am the animator at R&D Studio, and I'm joined today by my two fellow colleagues. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi everyone, I'm Han. I'm one of the scriptwriters and producers here at R&D. And this is my other colleague.
Hi, I'm Zaidah. I'm the writer. And it's so good to be here today.
It's 4 p.m. Are you guys hungry?
I mean, yes.
Yes.
I mean, earlier we were talking about McDonald's and Roti John's.
Yeah. Anything with bread and meat.
Carbs, man.
Carbs, yeah. Okay, so our topic for today is going to be about COVID-19, the pandemic that took 2020 away from us. It's been more than a year now since the pandemic started, and in Malaysia we went through 2 movement control orders. We've witnessed a number of business closures, rise in mental health issues, and other forms of hardships in just a year. And today the R&D ladies will share how the pandemic has changed their lives and their thoughts on the past.
Who wants to go first?
Okay, so just like a basic first question. And I think everyone's kind of starts with this when you talk about the pandemic. What was the last memorable thing you did before the pandemic?
Honestly, I can't remember what I did because it seems so long ago. Even though it's been a year. Maybe because we're stuck at home, so time is what?
Yeah.
But I think the last memorable thing that I did was I went on a vacation.
Nice.
That's good. That's good that you managed to fit one in.
And that was the last enjoyable thing that I did before everything went to kaput.
Yeah. Where did you go? Don't mind me asking.
Oh well, I went to Pujayu.
That counts as a vacation?
Yeah, because I don't know, I felt like I went on a February. So at that time, the news about COVID has already been like there are a few cases already. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll just go on a staycation somewhere close.
So that's that's a good time.
Yeah, and then turns out that was the last memorable thing I did. But also maybe like the only good thing that happened last year was Parasite won Best Film at the Oscars.
What about you, Han?
Well, I didn't really get to go for a vacation, even though I've been planning to for like the last 2 years. But I think the most memorable thing I did before we had to go into lockdown and everything was I attended this show that my friend performed at. So she basically she writes songs, so she got on stage, she performed, she played her guitar and sang a bit, and it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of other cool performers there as well that night. Then we ate, we talked, we chit-chatted with some new people we haven't met before, so that was nice.
In February, right, you said like cases started coming up, and like what went through your head at the time? Like how did you feel about it?
I was actually not that scared because I thought that it would go away in like a few months.
Oh man, we all did.
Because so I'm like in my late 20s already, and I've never experienced any pandemic. There was SARS and H1N1 virus and Ebola, but those weren't like
epidemics. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Epidemics, right?
They weren't that bad. So I thought it would be just like that.
Yeah.
So honestly, I didn't worry at all. And then when I looked at how fast the spread of the COVID virus still is. So, and then it kind of like dawned to me like, oh, okay, this is actually not like H1N1 or SARS. It's actually like worse. And plus, it's like globally we all experience it together. So it's definitely like a new experience for me, even though I've lived in this world for like 29 years.
I actually like that you pointed that out because it's weird because obviously pandemic is like a bad thing. I was like, oh, it's such a bad thing that it's happening literally everywhere around the world. But I was like, in a way, it's kind of interesting because now like the entire world has this shared experience. And I was like, you can go to a tiny town in Ukraine and someone has a similar experience. Someone knows what you're talking about. Like someone knows how it is to not see your loved one for so long because you can't cross borders and everything. So I was like, wow, it's funny to think that I can relate to someone anywhere around the world because we have this shared experience about this pandemic. Yeah, so it's like kind of bittersweet in a way. It was like an interesting thought that just like came to me.
It's also sad because it's pandemic. It's a negative, heartbreaking thing. But for some reason, we're all facing it together. So it's not, how to say, it's not...
Is it like a sense of unity, you mean? Like we're in this together?
We're in this together over a horrible thing.
That's the bittersweetness. It's like, this is so bad, but like, okay, I'm glad, not say glad, but like, wow, people in the world can understand. Although, obviously, arguably, macam to different levels.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how if you watch a movie about the end of the world and like everybody's trying to go through that and survive the experience at the same time.
Yeah.
Suddenly it reminded me of that movie, 2021.
Oh my god.
2021 is this year.
2012.
2012.
It was 2012? Not 2020?
2012. The movie.
The movie is called 2012.
Yeah.
And it's about the end of the world.
Yeah.
Literally.
I just thought it was called 2020. Because if it was 2020, it'd be like
It was
pretty
last
accurate.
Pretty accurate.
That's a different kind of apocalypse.
Okay.
But if I could add, I was also thinking it's really interesting to see the different ways the countries around the world reacted to how they handled it. What was the public in their country, their reactions to it. So yeah, it's cool. And like how there was a huge camp of people who were like, don't wear masks. And there's a huge camp of people who do wear masks. And I will say, at the beginning, I belonged to the former, but I'm very much in the latter now. Wear your mask. It's good.
Were you?
Yes, I was a fool.
Why?
Because I read the research that said it makes no difference if you're not wearing it properly. But then I read the other side, the other side's research, and
it made sense.
Converted
you. Well,
yeah, man.
Yeah, everybody here at the office knows about it because I was going on and on and on.
Were you?
Yeah, Lon roasted me quite a bit.
Oh no! Now, well, a year has gone by. Let's talk about maybe some of the struggles that you guys faced. Like, what was a very challenging time?
So for me, I guess it's the part where you're stuck at home 24/7
Yeah.
with the same people,
Yeah.
not being able to do a lot of stuff like
Run away.
yeah.
Lack of freedom.
Also, like for me, I like working at home. I'm very privileged to have
say
a
that.
job
Yeah.
that I can able to work from home. But if you're like working from home because you have to stay indoors, it's not fun anymore.
It's not the same thing anymore.
Yeah, it's like cabin fever.
Yeah.
It's just, mentally it kind of drains on you. So last year was difficult, not being able to see your friends. I wasn't able to see my sisters, so it's hard.
That must have sucked because I was actually, the good thing that I can say about this pandemic is that it was the first time in 7 years that all three of my sisters and my parents were in the same place at the same time. Since 2013, there was always someone studying abroad or whatever, but because of the pandemic, like everyone came home. So yeah, I can understand like how tough that must have been, because like I was happy to be able to hang out with my sisters for like the start of the pandemic at least. Yeah,
I guess that's one of the good things about it. It somehow, again, it reunites us. And being stuck at home, you can spend more time with your family, get to know them better. I mean, I guess that's one of the good things.
Yeah.
But for me, I just think that, that's enough.
Yeah.
I need to leave. I feel cabin feverish right now.
Definitely. The itch to go out is so real.
Yeah. What about you, Han?
I think you guys pretty much said everything. It was nice being able to see everyone, but also occasionally you wanted to see someone whose face you hadn't seen every day in the last 6 months.
Yep.
And it's just so different virtually.
Yeah.
Even though like I know a lot of people, and myself included, like we somehow, because of the pandemic, even though I've not seen someone in 4 years, but somehow because of the pandemic, I just like decided to give them a call virtually or something. But yeah, it's just different. It's not the same, and especially if like your relatives who you usually see every week, who live just like kilometers away from you, but you just can't see them face to face.
Thank you for tuning in to part 1 of this episode. Hit the like button and subscribe to make sure you catch part 2, where Han, Zaidah, and I continue to talk about our experience of the pandemic.